In this video, we're going to give you 5 key steps on how to plan your next overseas trip.
Welcome to the Drake Conversation. We believe that you can go on your dream trip if you make a plan and act on it.
So here are our 5 steps to make that happen. Let's get into it.
Step 1, dream big. This is the fun step, the step where you can just get inspiration scrolling through Pinterest or through Instagram. I know I love doing that. Literally in this step, just start making a list of places you want to go. If you want to narrow it down to a country or a continent, that's really good. It'll help you in the next step. But really, this is just you and your partner dreaming.
And don't forget to have fun during this process. Kristy and I, we're currently planning a trip to Europe that's going to be for 6 months. And we're using these 5 steps we're sharing with you today. What's been great about planning this trip with Kristy is I've been able to learn what she's wanting to get out of this trip. She's also been able to learn what my expectations are as well.
This 6-month Europe trip started with us dreaming big over the dinner table or in the car. So really just have fun with this step.
Step 2, map it out.
So for this step, I just used some plain A4 paper and just quickly sketched around the country that we were going to, which is Spain. So pretty much for this step, you're just taking the list of places that you got from step 1, your dream step, and just putting a pin in wherever those things are. So just a tip, I always start with the main city in your country that you're going to, because that's most likely the place that you're going to be flying into. So for Spain, it was Madrid.
And next, we used some ribbon to illustrate the trips between each location we'd be traveling to. And what's awesome about having the ribbon on your board, on your map, is that you've actually got a visual representation of what you're aiming for. You've got a vision for what you're going to be doing in your future, which is super exciting.
Yeah, and don't forget as well, you're still dreaming at this stage. So the pins can move, you can definitely change your plan, but it's literally, as Isaiah said, just to give you a bit of direction for where you're going. And also what this means is you can look more into those places that you're going into and do some more research about some beautiful places to see and beautiful things to do.
Step 3.
Budgeting and research.
Having a budget is super important for any of your travel plans, and we recommend to break down your budget into these 6 topics. Travel, accommodation, any major activities you're going to be doing, food, visas and licensing, as well as any gear or clothing you need specific to that place.
And this is where the map that we did in the previous step really comes in handy. So as you can see, the red ribbon marks out exactly what trips you're going to be taking, the major trips you're going to be taking that you just need to research. So for example, from wherever you are to the major city of that country, how much does a return flight cost? That goes into your budget. And then you can work out your smaller trips. Are you going to be hiring a car or catching a bus or a train? You just need to do some research into that, but this just gives you a really great visual for that plan.
And also, because you've placed the pins in these places that you're traveling to, you can also start doing some research on the accommodation in each of these places.
Yeah, and just remember, this is a guide. Still, your budget is not exactly what you're going to be spending, so you're wanting to look at the average cost for the type of accommodation and travel you're going to be doing.
We hope you're getting value out of this video. Make sure you subscribe so you get all of our future tips about traveling.
And we've got a bonus tip for you at the end of this video. Stay tuned.
Step 4, start saving. Start with how much you already have saved for your trip. And based on the budget that we did in the previous step, you'll figure out how much more you've got to save. Make sure you look at how much you can save realistically each week that will contribute to getting to your goal. This is going to help you figure out how long it's going to take until you can go on your trip.
And just a hot tip for doing some extra savings. Make sure you cut down on non-essential things. So in the weeks leading up to your massive trip, you're getting excited, you're really committed to it. Some easy things you can cut down are coffees that you're buying out, make one at home instead, dinners out, going to the movies. We just calculated for the pair of us to get 2 hot drinks a week, go out once a week for dinner and go to movies once a week. We save approximately 70 Australian dollars per week.
Step 5.
Grab a calendar. This is when things start to get real, when you're looking at booking things. It's super exciting. Now that you've looked at your budget and your savings projection, you can start looking at realistically when you can travel.
And a couple of things to think about is make sure you've discussed leave with your work, as well as do a quick Google. Check the weather of the place that you're going so you can determine what's the best time to go to get whatever experience you're wanting there.
Absolutely. So once you've got your calendar, just quickly mark out how much leave you've got, beginning date and the end date, because those are probably going to be your fly in, fly out dates. And then you've got a really visual representation of how long you've got to spend, and you can mark out how many days or weeks you want to spend in each of those cities that you put pins in that map. Bonus step. Talk to your friends and family who have gone to the country already.
Yes, Kristy and I, we're planning our Europe trip, as you know, and the best thing we could have done was actually talk with people who have been to some of the places that we are wanting to go to. It means that you can get some ideas and also get some insights as to things that they like that you might also enjoy, but also some things that you may actually want to avoid.
Yeah, the best source of information for the country that you're going to is from people who have already been there. Things to avoid like scams or anything scary like that, but also some hidden gems. Maybe they got lost along their trip and found this beautiful town where if you had done a Google search, you wouldn't have just found it, but because they've been there, they know the country, they know the locals, they can tell you all sorts of exciting stories.
Hey, thanks for tuning into the Drake conversation today. We love you guys.
We really want to know. Comment below, let us know what your next dream trip is.
See you next time.